All right, everybody, today I wanted to go over our new Samsung Flex 4-door refrigerator. And I guess it is new to us, but it's not new. We've had this about a year now, and there's lots of reviews of people that have just gotten it, things like that, from the company manufacturer. I wanted to go over today our opinions of it after owning it for about a year. First, I'm going to go off over why we chose this refrigerator over anything else. So previously in the past, we had a Dutch door refrigerator with the freezer drawer at the bottom. That was also a Samsung. It was okay. It had a few issues with water leaking down at the bottom, things like that, but it lasted us a few years. I think we had that 3 or 4 years. And it was okay, but it was time for a change. We wanted something a little different. We moved, and we wanted something different. My wife thought that she wanted to go back to a side-by-side refrigerator freezer, which I wasn't real keen on because those have been kind of left behind as far as advancement goes and technology and things like that, in my opinion. So I wanted to stay with something other than that. So we had a hard time kind of agreeing on what we wanted. We went to all kinds of different stores. We looked at things. We couldn't really figure out what we wanted until we found this. And the reason, going backwards, the reason that she did not want the Dutch door with the freezer at the bottom is she has a bad back. She has problems with her back. And the one that we had did not have the latch where when you lift up, it kind of pushed the door open. You had to really pull on it, and it bothered her back. And, we looked at the ones with the new latch and things like that, and she just had it in her head that she did not like having to bend over and pull on that and then unbury things, bent over and things like that. So that's why she wanted to go with side by side. So we found this, and while the freezer is still at the bottom, there are doors that open instead of a drawer that pulls out. Now there are racks that pull out, but they're very light and easy to maneuver. So she was okay with this one. Which I was too, and the thing that I liked the most about it was the beverage center. So it's got a separate door here in the front, a panel that opens up with a water pitcher or a single serve dispenser right here, as well as a nice place to access where we keep our milk or juice or whatever you want to put up here for quick access without letting all the cold air out. But it also has a full opening door on both sides, just like a regular Dutch door refrigerator. And this one also has the Samsung Smart Hub on it, which that's what I wanted. I'm the big techie person, so I thought that was really neat. I'll go over that separately in just a few moments. But the one thing that sets this refrigerator freezer apart from other ones is they call it the flex option. So this portion down here can either be refrigerator or freezer. Currently we have it set to the beverage setting. We keep all of our drinks in here. Initially, we used it as freezer, but after I have 3 teenagers in this house, and then myself and my wife, we just found that it was easier to consolidate the freezer stuff over here, beverages down here because of the bulk of a lot of the containers, 2-liter bottles, things like that. And then we also have a separate chest type freezer that we have in the basement, so that's why we were able to do that. If we did not have the chest type freezer, this would probably have to be freezer space, or we wouldn't have enough room for our freezer goods. So overall this year, we've loved this. We haven't had any issues with it. I absolutely love the pull-out pitcher that fills itself. So I can pull the pitcher out, fill up my coffee maker very quickly without having to pull the coffee dispenser off and try to hold it under there and whatnot. That's just a pain. So I love the fact that I can pull the pitcher out, pour my coffee pot, and put it back, shut the door, and it refills itself. You don't have to worry about it. Now I know it's just a pitcher. I can buy a water filter pitcher from a manufacturer and from anywhere and basically put it in there. But that takes up room because the way they have this, it just doesn't, yes, it takes up space, but it doesn't feel like it takes up space because of the way they have this arranged. I think it's just a brilliant idea the way they have it set up. So we really like the space. There's lots of room on the doors, and we have this thing crammed full. Like I said, I have 3 teenagers that love to eat, and so we have this thing jam-packed. I know it's not organized, it doesn't look professional. I didn't go through and organize it for this video or anything. I just left it exactly the way we use it. But you can see there's lots of room. It has the configurable shelf here that you can pull out or push back for tall items, like we have this big pot in here right now. It's got another shelf on the side that does the same thing. These are all movable to somewhat different heights. There is another container I can put here on the door, but we left this open for taller items on the bottom. And as I said, the bottom space down here in this bottom right corner can be changed to refrigerator, freezer, beverage, whatever. So if I go here to the Fridge Manager app on the Smart Hub, it gives you all your options for changing things, and we'll go over that right now in depth. So here's the Samsung Smart Hub. This is specifically the Fridge Manager portion of the control. So everything to control the refrigerator is digital here on the Smart Hub, and I apologize for the glare. I did my best to try to get rid of it. That's why the camera's at kind of a funny angle. But you can set your temperatures for the refrigerator, the freezer, and this is where you change your Smart Flex zone from beverage to freezer to refrigerator and back and forth. And then it also has a Flex Crisper, which you can change to meat and fish or refrigerator. We just leave it as fridge. And then you have a power cool option. You can lock the control unit, and you can turn your ice makers on and off. This does have 2 ice makers, which I'll go over those in a second. Plus it also has your water filter indicator, whether it needs to be replaced or not, or how much is left. And then some other settings are in here, whether you want the water fill to that pitcher to fill up on its own. Like I said, turn the ice makers on and off, water filter remaining live, all those kind of things like that. So that's the Refrigerator Manager option. Now you do have kind of a home screen, which this is one you've probably seen in the commercials or whatever, where you have your pictures that you can change. And the cool thing, you know, they move when you open and close the door. Well, normally they do. You know, it's not going to do it, but yeah, if you close the door, normally the pictures move. So apparently that's a glitch in the system, but they move as if they were fluttering in the air when the door is open or closed. That's weird. It usually always does it, and now it's not doing it because I'm filming this. But this is totally configurable. You can put different pictures up there, upload them from Samsung SmartThings. You have a whiteboard option where you can go in and change all your whiteboard. As you can see, we had an old note up there. There's lots of apps on this that you can use. Now, if you have an Amazon Alexa and you're heavily invested in the Amazon platform, yeah, I said Alexa, you can use this quite efficiently. If you have a Ring doorbell, it will show your Ring doorbell up here. Now, the issue that I have is I have a Google Nest doorbell, which I thought would work with this, but it does not. They continue to say that it's coming, but it's never worked. So right here it says view video, and I've tried to set it up and do different things, and it just always says it's loading. So if you have Google Nest doorbell or video cameras, they do not work on this as of right now. At least not to my knowledge. I've never been able to make it work. So there's different things. You can put your Amazon Essentials on here, which I have not done because I don't feel the need to, but you've got a cooking page, which the issue that I've had with this, I messed around with it when we first got it, but a lot of the recipes that came up were European, it seemed like, because there was a lot of the measurements were metric. So and a lot of the recipes, even though I tried to configure it to what things that we like, I just wasn't getting the kind of recipes that I wanted to make, and I love to cook, so it was kind of disappointing the results that I was getting with this. And then a few of the recipes that I did get, like I said, they were metric, and I'd have to convert it, and I just I'm not that smart, nor do I want to waste that much time, so I don't use it. This is kind of a page. I don't use Spotify, so this doesn't get used. The only time we go to this page is we click on YouTube. My daughter loves watching YouTube videos on here. She loves singing along with YouTube videos, karaoke or whatever. She does that a lot. You can have your Samsung TV Plus up here, which we do use. The Dry Bar Comedy's up here because I do watch Dry Bar Comedy quite a bit. But yeah, so that is, it has the Bixby down here, which I never use. Set alarms, pull down from the top to change your volume, settings, smart view, all that kind of things like that. I don't have a Samsung a Samsung telephone, so I am not able to use the smart view. So that never gets used. Shut the screen off. Not sure why you would do that. I've never even done it. But yeah, I guess to clean it or whatever, but then when you touch it, it comes back up. This is nice. It has the time on there. It's like a default screensaver. It's got the weather. Yeah. Let's see if the pictures will move now. Absolutely not. They say no. Weather. There's a calendar app on here. Again, I use the weather once in a great while. You can say, Alexa, what's the weather for today?
The current weather is 39 degrees Fahrenheit with mostly cloudy skies. Today, you can look for snowy, rainy weather, with a high of 42 degrees and a low of 26 degrees.
So I do use that once in a while. So this is functional, but not to its fullest, partially because of it doesn't match up with things that I currently was using. If I were to switch my cameras over and get all, Ring stuff, it would work. If I used Spotify, it would work. If I was heavily involved with the Amazon things, it would work better. So if that's the way you are, you're probably going to like this a lot more than I do. There are some very gimmicky, silly things to this. They have where there's cameras on the inside of the refrigerator, so you can actually look inside of the refrigerator. If I can actually find that. Do I have that on my homepage? No. View inside right here. So yeah, it's got cameras on the inside in the middle, and it'll show you inside of your refrigerator. I'm not sure why you would ever need this. I guess if you're in the grocery store and you don't know if you have something or not, you can look. If you set your refrigerator up like a convenience store or a grocery store shelves where everything is organized and in line and perfect and proper, this would probably be great. We don't do that. Things get thrown in here, things get taken out of here, it gets shoved back however it can be put back. My family is not that organized. So if you can organize and do it, maybe you would like this. One of the absolute silliest things that I found is this refrigerator will use the camera and it will try to identify the things that you have, and it will actually try to assign expiration dates to them, and if you turn the feature on, it will tell you when the food in your refrigerator is going to expire. This is absolute insanity, in my opinion. So, number one, it can't, like I said, unless you set your food up like a grocery store in your refrigerator, it cannot identify 98% of this stuff. And I'm going to show you how silly this is. I did not set this up. I didn't change anything. I got it this morning to make this video. So here's what it says we have. Coffee creamer, which I believe there is, ham, pudding, ranch dressing, ready meals, and sauce. So 6 items found down here. If I bring up that, it'll tell you what all it says. So coffee creamer. Yes, there is coffee creamer there. So I got that one correct. That's unusual. Ham. Not sure where it's seeing ham. Pudding. No pudding. Ranch dressing, ready meals. Yeah, none of that stuff. Maybe it thinks that's ranch dressing. I'm not sure that's ricotta cheese. But yeah, so unless you really set this up to where it's going to recognize that, and you're going to take that much time each and every time you put things in and out of the refrigerator, that's great, I guess. But yeah, so it says ready meals are over here, which that's not ranch. Oh, it says the coffee creamer is actually ranch dressing. That's funny. It says that the ricotta cheese is ham, and it says, oh, we got the Prego. We do have some spaghetti sauce over there, so it did recognize that as sauce. So it got that. Like I said, if you set this up, it might work. I'm not sure who's going to be doing that, but if that's your thing and you're that organized, my kudos to you, and you're probably going to like this. So now, on another note, the ice maker. Let's talk about the ice makers in the freezer. So, because we have the beverage center up here, I don't know if you noticed earlier, there is no ice maker up top. So, the ice maker is actually down here. It does have an ice maker. It's down here in the freezer section. There's two sides. One side for larger regular nugget ice. or cubed ice, and then the smaller section over here for the smaller nugget ice, which is actually empty now for some reason. I'm not sure why. We don't use the ice maker that much for ice in our drinks. We just, not something that we regularly do. Usually our beverages are already cold, so we don't put ice in them. So it wasn't a big deal for us to have the ice maker down here. We discussed it. We said, we don't really use it that much. We're going to deal with it being down here. Does it take up room in your refrigerator, or your freezer? Yes, because we do like to have ice if we need it. So we did want an ice maker. It's just not something that we use frequently, so we were fine with it being down here on the bottom. It is a little clunky how they make it work with this pull-out shelf. And then you have to slide the lids forward. They do give you a scoop. You have to slide the lids forward and then scoop it out. But what happens is, when you scoop it out, if you don't push this lid all the way back to seal it off in the back, then it just pushes the ice out the back of the drawer because you've slid it out, and then you have ice down underneath. So you do have to be very, somewhat particular on how you use the ice maker. So, my biggest complaints, I guess, are the lack of integration with other apps, with the Samsung Smart Hub and the ice makers. Other than that, I absolutely love the Beverage Center. I like the flexibility of the Flex Zone. So far, the refrigerator freezer has worked flawlessly. We have had no issues. Would I recommend this? Absolutely, with those things in mind. If you don't need a ton of freezer space, and you like the flexibility of it, then I would say this is for you. So yeah, again, for us, the Samsung 4-door Flex Zone refrigerator freezer is a win. Now, you can get it without the Samsung Smart Hub if you want to save some money and you don't feel this is going to be something that you use. You can get it without that, so that's another option. Again, I'm a sucker for electronics and gimmicks and gizmos, so I got it, and we do use it. It is somewhat nice to have. It's not as functional as it could be. If they were to change some things, it would probably be better, but it is what it is. So far, we like it. It works very well, and yeah. So if you have any questions, leave a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.